and it was just like consumed my life for so long. It feels amazing to say that losing weight is absolutely no part of my life anymore. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be chatting about things I do to avoid an eating disorder relapse. So this list is not complete, like it's not a final list by any means. This list is definitely going to always be evolving as I continue on my recovery journey. Yeah, so let's just jump right in. Oh, and then stay tuned for later because we are going to do a little exercise together. Well, I have my notebook here and I'm gonna do a little exercise and you can do it with me if you want. Yeah, oh, also, I feel like when I do these videos, it'll be fun to have some sort of food / like snack item in the video. Just, you know, for food positivity's sake. We have these cupcakes courtesy of my girlfriend and I'm gonna eat one later, not right now because I know it's gonna be super messy. I'm a huge cupcake fan. I love cupcakes so much. I'm a huge icing fan too. Okay, the first thing I do to avoid falling into a relapse is I do not count calories. I don't diet. I don't limit foods. Most importantly, I don't count calories, meaning I don't add up everything I've eaten in a day or keep track of everything I've eaten in a day. That was my entire eating disorder, keeping track of every single thing that went into my body, the exact calorie number of every single thing that went into my body, down to the point where I was literally measuring my food. Measuring spoons and measuring cups were such a big part of my eating disorder. Like the situations that I was in when I was like living with my family and the things they would see me do, they got so used to it over time, but like my behaviors in front of my family, my behaviors that I would try and hide from my family, oh my God. Anyway, it was such a big part of my eating disorder, and so I don't count calories. Next thing I do to make sure I don't relapse is I don't weigh myself. I don't step on scales. So this is a huge one. In the past, unfortunately, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. Stepping on scales and seeing how much I weighed was so many things for me. When I was really in my eating disorder, I would weigh myself multiple times a day. It was just such a big part of it, like tracking that number on the scale, that it absolutely can't have any place in my life anymore if I want to recover. So let me kind of like just talk about, you know how when you go to the doctor, they always ask you to step on a scale? So now what I do is I won't even step on a scale at the doctor's office. This has only come up a few times because it's not like I'm like always going to the doctor or like doing it super often or something. So this has only come up a few times so far. And the few times it's happened, this is what I've done. One time when it happened, I was asked to step on a scale. I didn't say no. I just kind of was like, this is what I weigh. So I just kind of vocally told the person what I weigh. I didn't actually know exactly what I weighed. I just kind of like put out a number like around what it probably was to avoid stepping on the scale. That worked that time with that nurse. Another time, I don't remember what I said, but the nurse's reaction to what I said was, oh, you don't want to step on the scale? Or you don't want to know your weight? And she didn't say it in a condescending way. She was just asking me. And then I said, no, I don't want to know my weight. And she said, okay, well, you can step on the scale facing backwards and I won't tell you your weight. So I did that, and I really, really appreciated that it was that easy for her to just do that. Like, she didn't give me a big hassle over it or anything. I don't know. I just have absolutely no problem at this point telling a nurse I don't want to step on a scale or don't want to know my weight. And if they have a problem with that, honestly, I'm going to have a problem with them. Like, I'm not a very confrontational person, but what the hell? Like, if somebody tells you they don't want to step on a scale or they don't want to know their weight, move on. Like, I'm not a doctor at all, so like if some of y'all are doctors or something, or you're medical professionals and you're watching this, you're probably like, it's problematic what you're saying. Like, I understand that it's necessary for prescribing certain medications and for whatever reason it's necessary, but at the same time, like, I wish it wasn't, because I just, honestly, it makes me anxious still a little bit, knowing I'm going to have that conversation every time I go to the doctor. But once again, I'm at a point in life, I'm like getting worked up. I'm at a point in my life where I'm going to stand up for myself in every aspect of what that means. I'm at a point in my life where I stand up for myself, and I spent so much of my life not doing that in so many different ways, and I'm just not there anymore. So anyway, the next thing I do to avoid an eating disorder relapse is I try to avoid letting myself feel hungry for too long. And what I mean by that is, you know, maybe it's time for me to have another meal during the day or something like that, and I get hungry. I try not to like go too long without feeding myself or eating something, because if you struggled with a restrictive eating disorder or anorexia, and like a lot more than just anorexia too, you know that the feeling of being hungry in itself has so many like complex emotions and memories and like baggage connected to it for so many reasons. I don't really have to go into it. I'm not gonna do that right now, and I have in another video. I don't want to be too triggering in this video. I feel like I already have. I'm really sorry. I didn't plan on doing that, but I feel like it's already happened. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna make it worse. Next thing I do not participate in conversations about diets, weight loss, wanting to lose weight, or body shaming, as in like body shaming yourself and like, oh, I need to lose weight, oh, I'm starting this new diet, oh, I'm on this diet, oh, I don't let myself eat that, I don't let myself eat this, oh, I wish I was a size smaller so I could fit into these jeans. I don't participate in any conversation like that. Oftentimes, I find myself surrounded by people who will bring up these different topics, anything that I just mentioned, like anything in that realm. I'll be in situations where like friends or family, oh, that's a whole other thing, but friends will bring up these conversations, and what I tend to do is just not say anything and not comment. This might sound kind of awkward, but what I tend to do is just not participate in the conversation and just not add anything or say anything. And then eventually we move on to another topic. I don't know if people really notice when I'm doing that or not. I can't tell how noticeable it is. Oftentimes, I think when people are talking about things, you don't really necessarily notice if people aren't like adding things in all the time, because maybe you're focused on what you're sharing, or maybe it's like a group of people and different people are sharing different things, so you wouldn't necessarily notice if one person's being really quiet. But I just won't say anything because I just don't want to. I don't want to talk about how you think you need to be a few sizes smaller for whatever reason, because I disagree. I don't think you need to be a few sizes smaller. I don't want to talk about how you're on this diet, and because I don't think you need to be on a diet. I don't believe in diet culture, and I think it's just like so toxic for so many different reasons. The diet industry like wants us to be on diets because it's like this whole massive money-making industry, and that's why you see commercials for weight loss all the time and commercials for different like dietary things all the time, because it's such a big industry. And that's only one of many reasons. Oftentimes it leads to like the beginning of an eating disorder, like whatever. I just don't like diets. I'm not going to participate in a conversation if you're talking about how you hate your body or you wish you looked like this or that, because why should we talk about how we don't like our bodies? Like, let's just talk about ourselves and our bodies in a positive way. Like, those are the kind of conversations I want to be in. Conversations about like, let's go eat this bomb food because we love it and because food is great. And let's not talk about the guilt we're gonna feel after. Like, I don't believe in food guilt at all, period. Let's just be food positive and body positive, and I will participate in those conversations. Those conversations are so rare. Next thing I do to avoid an eating disorder relapse is I am not trying to lose weight. I don't let myself get into the mindset of I need to lose weight. Well, last week was hard. I found myself slipping into that mindset, whether it happens sometimes or not. Like I get the urge and the desire for whatever reason. The reason is always connected to my eating disorder. Whether I'm having the urge or not, I don't let myself have the goal of losing weight. That's not a part of my life anymore. It feels so amazing to say that because that was such a big part of my life for so long. It literally consumed my life. Losing weight, losing a certain amount of weight, getting to a certain number, and then getting to another number, and then getting to another number when I passed that number, and the number was never low enough, and it was just like consumed my life for so long. It feels amazing to say that losing weight is absolutely no part of my life anymore. Next thing I do to avoid an eating disorder relapse is when I get the urge to restrict or use one of my other behaviors, I fight it. And it really is that simple. Is it easy? No. It's really freaking hard. I can't even express to you how hard it can be when those urges and thoughts like creep back in. And I've had some really hard moments these past few weeks. But my point is, I have to fight it. I'm learning that a huge part of recovery is just choosing recovery over and over and over and over again, because there are going to be some meals and some days and some moments where you don't want to choose it anymore, and you really have to fight that feeling. It's so hard, but that's what I'm realizing. Like, it's just about continuing to fight that feeling over and over and over again, because eventually it will pass, and the next day will come, or the next meal will come, and you know, that one might be easier, or it won't. I don't know, but like, I've been having more easy moments than hard moments. Oh, if you're wondering what this is, it's my little sound recorder thing. I'm trying to keep it out of frame. Okay, this is the last thing I have on my list to share with you guys. And then after this, I'm going to share a few little wins that I've had lately in my recovery journey. And then I'm going to do a little exercise, a little journal exercise, and you can do it with me if you want. Oh, and also cupcakes are happening. Last thing that I do to avoid an eating disorder relapse. This one is hard. So I wrote down when I'm dealing with really difficult emotions that in the past would have led me to use different eating disorder behaviors as a coping mechanism. Instead of resorting to the coping mechanism, I instead try and force myself now to feel my emotions. This is hard to explain, but I wrote down, I try to just feel my emotions and breathe through them, as painful or uncomfortable as they are. Because one thing that I've learned is that they always pass eventually. So even if I'm like having a moment where my emotions are so big and like painful and hard and just like overwhelming that maybe there are tears streaming down my face, I try to just breathe for one, because like one thing I've noticed a few times when I've tried this, and I haven't perfected any of this at all, and this is just what I've tried a few times I've had this experience of like overwhelmingly negative emotions and trying not to use negative coping mechanisms. If I'm having a moment where I'm like really upset and I'm crying and I'm just feeling so bad, if I just breathe, even as I'm crying, if I just take deep breaths in and out and breathe through the moment, it helps a little bit. And you just keep breathing. And eventually you'll stop crying. Eventually the feelings themselves, maybe not in that moment, maybe not even that day, but maybe the next day or, a few days from then, the feelings always pass. Every feeling you feel is temporary. Knowing that has helped me so much, but then also like practically experiencing that has helped me so much. Every like really bad feeling you feel is temporary and it will pass. Every good feeling you feel will pass. Like all feelings are temporary. Feelings come and go, and I've just been trying to breathe through mine, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just going to talk about myself. I've been trying to breathe through mine, and that's just one thing I've been trying, and yeah, I'm going to keep trying that. So that was everything I had on my list of things I do to avoid an eating disorder relapse. Now let me share a few little wins with you guys that I've had lately. One win that I've had is When I'm eating with someone and they say they're full and I keep eating because I'm not full yet maybe, or satisfied yet, that's a win for me. That's a really big deal. The sun keeps changing its mind about how bright it wants to be right now. Anyway, I don't need to explain why this is a big deal to some of you, but for people who are a little bit confused, feeling hungry and full were such big aspects of my eating disorder. I was never really allowed to feel full, which may sound crazy, but it was like a rule I had for myself. Like, if I felt full, I had failed. And if I felt hungry, I had succeeded. I was doing a good job. Also, another big part of my eating disorder was comparison. So like comparing, for example, my plate of food to someone else's plate of food who's at the table with me. Oftentimes I would need to have like less food on my plate than someone else, or like finish less than someone else, or like things like that. And so comparison was a big part of it. Till this day, it's really hard for me to dip my own portions of food. It's getting easier, but it still makes me anxious to have to dip my own portions of food, because I overthink it, and it brings up different things for me, and it's just like a whole thing. I prefer other people to do it for me, but people don't get that, and I wish they did. Like, that's one thing that's still hard for me. Anyway, that was a tangent. Now, when I'm eating with someone, let's use my girlfriend for an example, because this is often when this happens. Say we're eating dinner and she says suddenly, "Oh, I'm so full. I can't eat anymore," or something. And I'm not there yet. If I keep eating after she makes a comment like that, which I always do, and I'm really proud of myself for that, that's just such a big win. And I just kind of internally pat myself on the back, because it's not easy. And I've shared different aspects of my eating disorder struggles with her. I haven't shared that specific thing with her, like how those moments feel. I don't know if I will, because I don't want her to overthink different things when she's with me, even though, she wants to understand where I'm coming from and she wants me to share these things, but you know. Another win that I have is just like in my everyday life, feeling fine about my body. And like when I'm in the dressing room at a store trying on clothes and you have that mirror right in front of you, and I think we all know that mirror is really just, it's like a microscope or something. Anyway, I feel fine about my body in those moments as well. And there were so many years where the dressing room mirror was the time when I would that was the time. I think you guys know what I mean. Just like being okay with the way my body looks, not feeling like I need to lose weight or anything like that. For the most part. So that's a win for me. Okay, let's have a cupcake, shall we? Oh, I also love the smell of cupcakes so much. Oh my goodness, does anyone else like smell their food before eating it? I feel kind of weird about doing that, but I notice that it's the thing I do sometimes. Especially when there's frosting involved. This is exciting. I love how the cupcake to frosting ratio is like equal. Like if this was a full-size cupcake, like the frosting to cake ratio would not be this equal. Like, why is there just as much frosting as there is cake? That is hilarious. But I'm not complaining. Alright. I'm gonna end this video with a little journal exercise. Basically, I'm going to list my reasons to recover. Because I realized lately, like during these moments where I'm really struggling with the negative thoughts or the urges to go back to certain behaviors, I feel like it would be helpful if I had a list to look at every time I have those thoughts of all of the reasons why I don't want to go back and all of the reasons why I want to be in recovery. So I'm going to make a list, and if you want, you can like get some paper and a pen and make a list with me. I'm doing this in real time. I have no idea what I'm going to put on this list. All right. Reasons to recover. The first thing I'm thinking of right now is, do I have frosting on me? Please no. Let me go look in the mirror. Okay, we're good. Also, y'all probably just saw that I'm not wearing fancy pants. I only care about the top when I'm filming a sit-down video. Reasons to recover. Number one thing that comes to mind is meals with my girlfriend. So when I say that, I mean being able to go out to dinner with her and enjoy meals, being able to eat breakfast with her, being able to eat dinner with her at night, eat takeout with her when we're watching Netflix. Just like eating with my girlfriend without having all of these thoughts consuming my energy and my brain and like making me want to cry, making me overthink everything about the meal and about the situation, like just not thinking about any of that and just enjoying a meal with my girlfriend. That is such a big reason to recover. Last week I had a moment where I slipped a little bit and I gave in to the urge to restrict, and it was dinner time and my girlfriend brought home some food and I didn't have any. And I'm not trying to trigger you guys by saying that like I didn't have any. Like I ate a little bit before that, but long story short, like I didn't have any of the food that she brought home. And the next day I was thinking about it and I was just like, oh, that makes me so sad. She brought this yummy food for us to share and I wasn't eating it because I was too in my head, and for whatever reason I just wasn't allowing myself to, for, you know, the different reasons. And it like the whole thing just made me really sad to think about. And I was just like, this is like not okay. I don't want these moments to happen. Another reason, having energy, not feeling winded every time I walk up the stairs, which still happens, but for other reasons. Not feeling too weak to do my job, not feeling too tired to just like stand up and wait in line somewhere, not feeling dizzy all the time. Another reason to recover for me is having mental space to think about things. So much of my mental space were taken up by calorie counting, the energy it takes to get yourself to not eat things when you're hungry and you have cravings, just overthinking every meal. Oh my God, all the energy and like anxiousness that would go into like if I had a social interaction coming up or a birthday or an event or a meal I was going to share with anyone, just how anxious I would feel over how I was going to avoid the food during that situation. That whole thing alone of like constantly trying to figure out how I was going to avoid food in every social situation ever. Oh my God, just that alone is a reason to recover. I do not miss that. I can go to birthday parties now. I can go to dinner with anyone now. I can eat lunch with someone now and not overthink, oh, how am I going to avoid this and that? Because I'm not trying to avoid anything anymore. I'm going to continue this list on my own. And hopefully you continue your list. This was a fun chat. I liked this topic. I hope that you took positive things from this video. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Comment below, say hi. Oh my gosh, share one or more of your reasons to recover in the comments, please. Let's motivate each other. And hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload a new video. Check out my channel because I have lots of other videos and content already up there. And I will see you guys again soon with a brand new video. Bye.
Like a light, lighting up in the dark. You make it right, I forgot how to act. It's so classic. Every time you make me nervous and I lose my words. It's been a while since I forgot